love letter from Sergeant Vance to his wife. I'm going to read it real quick. It says, Dear honey, touch my fucking camera case again without asking, and I will rip your fucking arms off and beat you to death with them. Love, text Sergeant Vance.
Now, there's a lot of questions around, the 98th that we all would like answered, such as, how old is Senior? Why hasn't Marty won the Nobel Prize? And is Sergeant Ramos 100% black? Tonight we're going to answer one of the most important questions that we have. Who's the bigger badass, Sergeant Blackwell or Sergeant Vance?
I heard Sergeant Vance recently had the idea to sell his urine as a canned beverage. We know this beverage as Red Bull.
Here you go.
Hey, yeah. Give like lips back when you're done.
That's great.
Hello? When Sergeant Blackwell plays Oregon Trail, his family does not die from cholera or dysentery. Can I read that? But rather roadhouse kicks to the face. He also requires no wagon since he carries the oxen axles and buffalo meat on his back. He makes it to Oregon before you. Ha! Thanks.
Rather than giving birth like a normal child, Sergeant Vance instead decided to punch his way out of his mother's womb. Shortly thereafter, he grew a big beard.
Sergeant Vance built a time machine and went back in time to stop the JFK assassination. As Oswald shot, Chuck met all 3 bullets with his beard, deflecting them. JFK's head exploded out of the sheer amazement.
Hey, this one time I heard Sergeant Blackwell's wife burn the turkey one Thanksgiving. Lee, wait, hold on, start over. What is this? Lee said. Am I telling the story here?
Yeah.
Hey, this one time I heard when Sergeant Blackwell's wife burned the turkey one Thanksgiving, Lee said, "Don't worry about it, honey," and went to the backyard. He came back 5 minutes later with a live turkey, ate it whole, and when he threw it up a few seconds later, it was fully cooked and came with cranberry sauce. When his wife asked how he did it, he punched her in the neck and said, "Never question Sergeant Blackwell."
Well, neither. It's Sergeant Birch. He created the free fly team in only 3 years.
Sergeant Black.
Start over.
Yes.
Go ahead, now.
Sergeant Blackwell, you took my virginity and go back. Sergeant Blackwell you took my virginity, and he was surely the hell that took yours. If you're thinking yourself that it's impossible that I lost my virginity, then you're dead wrong.
Sergeant Vance ruins the endings of Harry Potter books for children who just bought one for the hell of it. When they start crying, Sergeant Vance calmly says, "I'll give you something to cry about." Roundhouse kicks them in the face.
Sergeant Vance once went to a frat party and proceeded to roundhouse every pop collar in sight. He then drank 3 kegs and shit on their floor, just because he's Sergeant Vance.
Oh my God. Good one.
Sergeant Blackwell can make a woman climax by simply pointing at her.
Booyah! You tell me when you want me. Sergeant Vance frequently signs up for beginner karate classes just so he can accidentally beat the shit out of little kids.
Hey, I heard that Sergeant Blackwell's girlfriend once asked him how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. He then shouted, "How dare you rhyme in the presence of Chuck Norris," and ripped out her throat. Holding his girlfriend's bloody throat in his hand, he bellowed, "Don't fuck with Chuck!" 2 years and 5 months later, he realized the irony of this statement and laughed so hard that anyone within a 100-mile radius went deaf from the blast.
Yeah, it's neither. It's Senior. Because if you can see Senior, he can see you. If you can't see Senior, you may be only seconds away from being grounded.
A man once asked Sergeant Vance if his real name was Kevin. Sergeant Vance did not respond. He simply stared at the man until he exploded.
Sergeant Blackwell is currently suing NBC, claiming that Law and Order are trademark names for his left and right biceps.
And Joe stole my spot.
Neither of them are going to be the biggest badass. It's me. Because I'm going to be a princess.
Hey, we're flexing the whole time, right? So in conclusion, neither of them are the biggest badass. It's us.
Yeah, we are.